chosen spirit. I need you to stop right now. Not in a moment. Not after this sentence. Right now, because what I am about to tell you is not something you stumbled upon by chance. You did not find this message. I placed it directly in your path. And the reason your finger paused, the reason your attention stayed, the reason something inside you went still for just a second, that was me getting your attention, because we need to talk, you and I, about what you have been through, about what you think happened to you, about what actually happened to you. For too long, you have been carrying a story that is only half true. The story goes like this. Life has been unfair to you, harder than it needed to be. You have faced more than your share. You have been tested beyond what felt reasonable. And somewhere in your mind, you started to believe that maybe you did something wrong. Maybe you are being punished. Maybe this is just what your life is going to be. Struggle after struggle with no clear reason why. Let me tell you something right now that is going to shift everything. You were not being punished, you were being prepared, and there is a massive difference between the two. Punishment is random, reactive, and meant to hurt. Preparation is intentional, strategic, and meant to build. Everything you went through, every betrayal, every loss, every moment you felt completely alone, every time the door closed in your face, every season where nothing made sense. I was there watching, measuring, shaping, not to break you, to forge you. You see, most people go through life and I let them. I do not interfere much. I do not press them. I do not stretch them beyond their comfort because, frankly, they are not asking for more. They are content with surface living, content with shallow faith, content with average awareness. And that is fine. I meet people where they are. But you were different from the beginning, even when you did not know it, even when you were trying to fit in and be normal and live like everyone else. I saw something in you that you could not see in yourself yet. A capacity, a hunger, a strength that had not been activated, and I knew that if I left you comfortable, you would never discover it. So I did not leave you comfortable. I removed the people you thought you needed. I closed the doors you thought you wanted. I delayed the things you thought you deserved. And I know how that felt. It felt personal. It felt cruel. It felt like I was ignoring you. But I was doing the exact opposite. I was watching you closer than anyone else in your life because I only test the ones I am preparing for something greater. I only press the ones who have the capacity to carry weight that others cannot imagine. I only isolate the ones I am about to elevate. And you, whether you realized it or not, you were in my refining fire. Not because you were broken, because you were being perfected. Let me be very clear about something. I did not cause every bad thing that happened to you. People have free will. They make choices. They hurt each other. They lie. They betray. They abandon. I did not make them do that. But here is what I did do. I allowed it. And I allowed it because I knew you could handle it. I allowed it because I knew that pain would activate something inside you that comfort never could. I allowed it because I saw the future version of you, the one standing on the other side of all that fire. And I knew that version was worth the process. So I let the fire burn, not to destroy you, to reveal you. Now let me tell you what was really happening during those years. You thought you were just surviving. You thought you were barely holding on. I was training you. You thought you were being rejected. I was redirecting you. You thought you were losing everything. I was removing everything that was not aligned with where I am taking you. You thought you were alone. I was right there, closer than your own breath, holding you together when you did not even know you were falling apart. Every single moment you made it through, that was not luck. That was me, sustaining you, strengthening you, keeping you alive when part of you wanted to quit. And the reason I kept you going is simple. You are not done yet, not even close. Let me tell you about the version of you I have been building, the version you are becoming, the version that is starting to emerge right now as you hear these words. This version does not need validation from people anymore. This version does not break when people leave. This version does not panic when things do not go according to plan. This version knows how to stand alone without feeling lonely. This version sees through lies instantly. This version cannot be manipulated, controlled, or intimidated. This version walks into rooms and shifts the atmosphere without saying a word. This version carries a weight, an authority, a presence that cannot be faked or taught. It can only be forged. And that is exactly what I have been doing, forging you. Everything you survived was a test. But not the kind of test you take in school, not the kind where you pass or fail and move on. These were the kind of tests that reveal who you really are when no one is watching, when no one is cheering, when no one even knows what you are going through. These tests had no instructions, no study guide, no guarantee that you would make it through. And yet here you are, still standing, still believing, still moving forward. That alone tells me everything I need to know about you. You passed. Not because you were perfect, not because you never doubted, not because you never stumbled. You passed because when it mattered most, you chose to keep going. You chose integrity over shortcuts. You chose honesty over convenience. You chose to trust me even when it made no logical sense. And every time you made that choice, you proved something to yourself that no one else could prove for you. You proved you are stronger than you thought. Now here is where most people miss it. They go through the fire, they survive the test, and then they go right back to living small. They go right back to doubting themselves. They go right back to playing it safe. They go right back to seeking approval from people who never even noticed what they survived. But I did not bring you through all of that so you could shrink back into who you used to be. I brought you through all of that so you could step into who you really are. And who you really are is not small, not average, not uncertain. Who you really are is powerful, aware, unshakable, and completely aligned with a purpose that is bigger than anything you have imagined so far. Let me tell you what I see when I look at you right now. I see someone who has been through hell and came out with their heart still intact. I see someone who was betrayed and chose not to become bitter. I see someone who was abandoned and chose not to close off. I see someone who was tested in ways that would have destroyed most people. And yet you are still here, still soft, still open, still believing that something good is coming. That kind of resilience is rare. That kind of strength is not common. That kind of faith is not ordinary. And I do not waste that kind of raw material. I build with it. So here is what is about to happen. Now that you have passed the tests most people never even recognize, now that you have survived what was meant to shape you, now that you have proven you can carry weight without breaking, I am about to release you into a new season. A season where the delay ends. A season where the doors start opening. A season where the right people start showing up. A season where your efforts start producing results that make sense. A season where you finally see the purpose behind the pain. And when that happens, and it is happening right now as you hear this. You are going to look back and understand. You are going to see clearly why certain people had to leave, why certain doors had to close, why certain seasons had to be so hard. You are going to see that none of it was wasted. All of it was preparation. But before I release you into that new season, I need you to do something. I need you to let go of the old story. The story that says you are a victim. The story that says life is just hard for you. The story that says you are unlucky or cursed or forgotten. That story is not true. It never was. You are not a victim. You are a victor. You are not unlucky. You are chosen. You are not forgotten. You are seen, known, and loved by the one who created you. And everything you went through was not punishment. It was preparation for a level of living that requires the exact kind of strength you now carry. So right now, I need you to make a decision, not tomorrow, not next week. Right now, the decision is this. Are you going to keep living like someone who barely survived? Or are you going to start living like someone who was chosen, tested, refined, and prepared for greatness? Are you going to keep shrinking? Or are you going to step into the full weight of who I made you to be? Are you going to keep doubting yourself? Or are you going to finally trust that if I brought you through all of that, I have something significant waiting? On the other side, the choice is yours. But I am telling you right now, you did not survive all of that to stay small. You survived all of that to rise. Let me show you something most people never see. There is a difference between someone who has talent and someone who has been tested. Talent is given, testing is earned. Talent gets you in the door. Testing keeps you in the room when everyone else walks out. Talent impresses people, testing builds character, and character is what I am looking for. Not your ability to perform, not your ability to look good, not your ability to impress a crowd, your ability to stand when everything in you wants to fall, your ability to trust when nothing makes sense, your ability to keep moving when you cannot see the path. That is what I have been building in you. And now that you have it, now that it has been tested and proven, you carry something most people will never have. You carry authority that comes from surviving what should have destroyed you. Here is what happens next. You are going to start noticing things. Doors that were closed are going to crack open. People who ignored you are going to start paying attention. Opportunities that seemed impossible are going to suddenly become possible. Resources that were blocked are going to start flowing. And it is going to feel almost effortless compared to what you went through before. Not because life is getting easier, but because you are stronger, you are wiser, you are more aligned. And when you operate from that place of alignment, things move differently. Resistance decreases, clarity increases. What used to take years starts taking months. What used to feel like pushing a boulder uphill starts feeling like momentum. That is what happens when you stop fighting the process and start trusting the one who designed it. Let me tell you specifically what changed inside you during those hard years. Your discernment sharpened. You learned to read energy before words. You learn to sense intention before action. You learn to see patterns that others miss. You learn to trust your gut, even when it did not make logical sense. And every single time your gut warned you, and you listened, you proved to yourself that you carry wisdom that cannot be taught in books or learned in classrooms. That wisdom was earned in the fire. It was forged in betrayal. It was refined in isolation. And now you carry it everywhere you go. People feel it even when you do not speak. They sense something different about you, something solid, something real, something that cannot be faked. Your patience deepened, not the kind of patience that waits passively. The kind of patience that trusts actively. The kind that knows how to wait without losing faith. The kind that can delay gratification because it understands timing. Most people want everything now. Right now, instantly. And when they do not get it, they panic, force things, settle for less, or give up completely. But you learned something different. You learned that good things take time, that real growth cannot be rushed, that solid foundations require slow building, that lasting results come from consistent effort over time, not quick bursts of motivation. And because you learned that lesson the hard way, you now carry a level of patience that most people your age do not have. You are not in a hurry anymore. You are not desperate anymore. You are steady, and that steadiness is power. Your resilience multiplied. You learned that you can survive things you thought would kill you. You learned that pain is temporary, but quitting is permanent. You learned that falling down does not make you weak, but staying down does. You learned that every time you got back up after being knocked down, you became a little bit stronger, a little bit wiser, a little bit more unbreakable. And now when challenges come, and they will keep coming, you do not panic like you used to. You do not spiral like you used to. You do not break like you used to. You breathe, you assess, you adapt. You overcome because you have done it before. You know you can do it again. That is not arrogance. That is evidence-based confidence. You have proof that you are stronger than your circumstances. Your faith matured. It moved from believing in me when life is good to trusting me when life is hard. It moved from praising me when prayers are answered to worshiping me when prayers seem ignored. It moved from following me when the path is clear to walking with me when the path is dark. Real faith is not about feeling good. Real faith is about standing firm when everything in your natural mind is screaming that you should give up. And you did that time after time after time. You kept believing even when nothing around you suggested that believing made sense. And every time you chose faith over fear, trust over doubt, hope over despair, you built something inside you that nothing in this world can shake. You built a foundation that stands no matter what storm comes, and that foundation is going to hold you for the rest of your life. Your independence solidified. You learned that you do not need people to complete you. You learned that you can stand alone without feeling lonely. You learned that being by yourself is not the same as being abandoned. You learned that sometimes the greatest growth happens when no one else is around. You learned to enjoy your own company. You learned to hear your own thoughts. You learned to trust your own judgment. And most importantly, you learned that your worth is not determined by who stays or who leaves. Your worth is inherent. It was given to you the day I created you, and nothing anyone does or does not do can change that. This level of self-assurance is rare. Most people need constant validation. They need people around them to feel okay. They need approval to feel worthy. They need attention to feel valuable, but you do not need any of that anymore, not because you do not value relationships, but because you are complete within yourself, and that completeness makes you magnetic in a way neediness never could. Your purpose clarified for a long time. You probably wondered why you were here, what you were supposed to be doing, what your life was supposed to mean, and all those questions felt heavy because you could not see the answer. But here is what you did not realize. You were not supposed to see the answer yet. You were supposed to become the answer. Everything you went through was shaping you into the person who could fulfill the purpose I had for you all along. You could not step into that purpose as the person you were 5 years ago. You were not ready. You did not have the character. You did not have the wisdom. You did not have the strength. But now you do. Now you carry everything you need to walk into the assignment I have been preparing for you. And that assignment is not small. It is not insignificant. It is not just about you. It is about the lives you are going to touch, the people you are going to help, the light you are going to carry into dark places, the hope you are going to bring to hopeless situations. You are not here by accident. You are here on assignment, and everything you survived was preparation for that assignment. Let me tell you something else that is going to surprise you. The very things that hurt you the most are going to become the very things that help others the most. The betrayal that almost destroyed you is going to help you recognize when someone else is being betrayed, and you are going to be able to speak life into them. The loneliness that almost broke you is going to help you see when someone else is isolated, and you are going to be able to sit with them in a way that makes them feel less alone. The confusion that almost defeated you is going to help you guide someone else through their confusion with a clarity they could not find on their own. Your pain is not going to be wasted. I am going to redeem every bit of it. I am going to turn your scars into signs that point others toward healing. I am going to use your story to rewrite someone else's story. And when that happens, when you see your pain producing purpose in someone else's life, you are going to understand why I allowed what I allowed. Not because I wanted you to suffer, but because I knew you could transform that suffering into something sacred. Now here is something I need you to understand about this new season you are entering. It is going to require something from you that the old season did not require. The old season required endurance. This new season requires obedience. The old season was about surviving. This new season is about thriving. The old season was about holding on. This new season is about stepping forward. And stepping forward means you are going to have to move even when you do not have all the answers. You are going to have to trust even when the path is not completely clear. You are going to have to act even when you do not feel fully ready. Because here is the truth. You will never feel completely ready. Readiness is not a feeling. Readiness is a decision. And I am telling you right now, you are ready. You have everything you need to step into what is next. Not because you are perfect, but because you are prepared. Not because you have all the answers, but because you have me. And I am all the answer you need. But I need to warn you about something. When you step into this new season, not everyone is going to celebrate with you. Some people are going to feel uncomfortable. Some people are going to distance themselves. Some people are going to question what changed. Some people are going to resent the fact that you are no longer playing small. And you need to be okay with that. Because the people who were meant to be with you in the wilderness are not always meant to be with you in the promised land. The people who knew the struggling version of you might not recognize the elevated version of you, and that is okay. Do not shrink to make them comfortable. Do not dim your light to make them feel safe. Do not apologize for becoming who I always knew you could be. Here is the truth that will set you free. You do not need everyone to understand you. You do not need everyone to believe in you. You do not need everyone to support you. You only need to stay aligned with me. And when you do that, everything else falls into place. The right people show up, the right opportunities appear, the right resources flow. Because when you are in alignment with your purpose, life stops being a struggle and starts being a journey. Not an easy journey, but a meaningful one. Not a painless journey, but a purposeful one. And purpose makes everything worth it. Now let me tell you why this moment matters so much. This is not just another motivational message. This is a moment of recognition, a moment where you finally see what I have been doing all along. A moment where the pain starts to make sense. A moment where you stop seeing yourself as someone who has been through too much and start seeing yourself as someone who was prepared for something significant. This shift in perspective changes everything. It changes how you see your past. It changes how you approach your future. It changes how you carry yourself right now. Because once you realize that you were not a victim of circumstance, but a candidate for elevation, you stop moving like someone who is hoping things work out and start moving like someone who knows they will. Let me ask you something. What if everything you went through was not about you at all? What if it was about the people you are going to help? What if the reason you had to go through betrayal is because you are going to help someone else heal from betrayal? What if the reason you had to go through loneliness is because you are going to help someone else feel seen? What if the reason you had to go through confusion is because you are going to help someone else find clarity? What if your pain was not pointless? What if it was preparation to become a source of healing for others? Think about that for a second. Your struggle was not wasted. It was invested. Invested in building the exact kind of person who can hold space for others who are going through what you already survived. This is why I pressed you harder than others. This is why I tested you longer than others. This is why I allowed you to go through things that seemed unbearable, because I knew you had the capacity to not just survive it, but to transform it into something that helps others. I knew you could take your pain and turn it into purpose. I knew you could take your wounds and turn them into wisdom. I knew you could take your mess and turn it into a message. And now that you have done that, now that you have proven you can carry weight without becoming bitter, I am about to connect you with the people who need what you carry, not what you say. What you carry, the presence, the peace, the strength, the clarity that only comes from surviving what you survived. So here is what I need you to do. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for someone to tell you that you are ready. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. You are ready right now. The moment is right now. The door is open right now. And the only thing standing between you and the life I designed for you is your willingness to walk through that door, to step into that identity, to own the strength you have earned. To stop playing small and start playing the role I assigned you before you were even born. You were not made to blend in. You were made to stand out. You were not made to follow the crowd. You were made to lead. You were not made to survive. You were made to thrive. And if you are hearing this right now, if something inside you is stirring, if something is waking up that has been asleep for too long, that is me calling you forward, calling you higher, calling you into the fullness of who you were always meant to be. Do not ignore it. Do not delay it. Do not talk yourself out of it. This is your moment. This is your time. This is your season. And I did not bring you this far to leave you where you are. I brought you this far to launch you into where you are going. So take a breath. Settle your mind, quiet the doubt, and hear me clearly. You passed, you survived, you made it, and now it is time to step into everything I have been preparing you for. If this message reached something deep inside you, if you felt the truth of these words resonating in your spirit, do not just listen and leave. Let me know you heard this. Drop a comment right now. Type, "I receive it," or "I am ready," or whatever words capture what you are feeling in this moment. Let your agreement be known. Not for me, I already know, but for you. Because declaring something out loud shifts something inside you. It moves you from passive listening to active receiving. And right now, You need to actively receive what I am releasing over your life. And if you want to stay connected to messages like this, messages that cut through the noise and speak directly to where you are, make sure you subscribe to this channel. This is not about numbers. This is about making sure you do not miss the next word that is specifically meant for you. Because this message is not the end. This is the beginning. And what comes next is going to build on what you just heard. So subscribe, like this video so others who need to hear this can find it, and share it with someone you know who is going through their own fire right now. Someone who needs to hear that their struggle is not punishment. It is preparation. You might be the bridge between them and their breakthrough. Now let me close with this. You have been through the fire and you did not burn. You have been through the storm and you did not drown. You have been through the wilderness and you did not get lost. That alone proves something powerful. You are not ordinary. You are not weak. You are not a mistake. You are exactly who I made you to be. Strong, resilient, aware, unbreakable. And now that you know it, now that you see it, now that you own it, nothing will ever be the same. You passed the test. You survived the process. You discovered who you really are. And now it is time to walk in that identity with confidence, with power, and with the full assurance that I am with you every single step of the way. You are not alone. You have never been alone. And you will never be alone. So rise, step forward, and become everything I created you to be. Your time is now.